I posted a video just a few days ago about Edge Transit DPS combinations, and a lot of you Guardians seem to enjoy it. So today I want to do the same video but for the Apex Predator. Now the Apex Predator is still the best rocket launcher to do sustained DPS damage to most bosses in the game, so if you're ever in a situation where you need to use the Apex Predator as a DPS rotation other than the Edge Transit, this is the video for you, and I'm going to explain the best DPS rotations to pair with the Apex Predator. Now the Apex Predator comes from the Last Wish raid, and if you haven't got one crafted yet, you definitely should before the final shape. I'm going to be using my crafted version of the Apex Predator today with bait and switch and reconstruction. In my opinion, and most people's opinion, this is the designated god roll. Just to clear things up before we get too far into the video, this video is purely about a DPS rotation. The rotations that I'm going to show you are the best and highest DPS rotations that you can do, so if the boss is debuffed during one DPS phase but not in another, it's not the biggest deal. All this video is mainly used for is to do the DPS rotation correctly. Just to set a few ground rules, like I said, the Apex Predator I'm using in all of these rotations is one with reconstruction and bait and switch. Just to mention, I'm also going to be standing in a Well of Radiance, which is pretty normal for every DPS rotation in the entire game. I'm not planning to debuff the boss in any of these DPS rotations, but if the boss gets debuffed, it's probably because of some of my artifact mods. Anyway, to get started, let's cover the first DPS rotation, and of course that is the Apex Predator and the Izanagi's Burden, one of the most common and most used DPS rotations in the entire game. Now I don't want to repeat myself for every DPS rotation, so I'm going to mention it now at the start. Before you rally to a flag, you want to make sure you have the reserve mods on your chest piece for whatever weapon you're using. In today's video, we're using the Apex Predator, which is solar, so we want to put 2 times solar reserve mods on our chest piece before we rally to the flag. Now we also want to put 2 or 3 times surge mods on our boots, depending on the damage type. Now the Apex Predator is solar, so we're going to put 2 or 3 times solar surge mods on our boots. Another quick little tip, if you do have some spare special ammo before you rally to the flag, reloading your Izanagi's Burden with a 4 times honed edge before you rally to the flag will 1, give you the honed edge ready to go, but 2, it will also give you a few extra shots with your Izanagi's Burden. Anyway, once you're ready now, let's jump into the DPS rotation. So you want to start the DPS phase off by shooting the boss with a 4 times honed edge as soon as the boss isn't immune. From here, reload that Izanagi's Burden with another 4 times honed edge, switch to your primary weapon, shoot a shot. Then switch to your rocket and dump both of your rockets. Put the rocket away as it's going to automatically reload with reconstruction, switch to your Izanagi's Burden, and from here you're going to want to do 2 back-to-back 4 times honed edge. So shoot a shot, then reload another 4 times honed edge, and then shoot another shot. Now you want to reload for a 3rd time, and put it away and pull your rocket back out and get 2 rockets off before the bait and switch buff runs out. Now just repeat this process until you run out of ammo or the DPS phase is over. Now the reason we did 2 back-to-back Izanagi shots is because we were waiting for the rocket launcher to reload 2 times rockets so that we could get bonus damage off with the rocket launcher. Anyway, here is the uncut footage of this DPS rotation. Feel free to slow it down if you need. Moving over into the next rotation, we have the Apex Predator and the Merciless. Now this combination is used for certain bosses in the game, depending on how the boss works. If the boss likes to move around a lot, or they are very up close and personal in your face, and it's very hard to hit their critical spot, this is the weapon to use. Now this will technically be a DPS loss because the Merciless can't output as much damage as the Izanagi can in the same amount of time. However, one of the pros of using this combination is you will have a much better ammo economy. Now to start this DPS phase off, you want to shoot your primary until you notice the boss is damageable. From here, switch to your Merciless and damage the boss. Then switch to your rocket and dump 2 times rockets. From here, you want to switch back to the Merciless. Now you want to try and get a kill with the Merciless and then immediately reload. This is because of the origin trait on the Merciless called Impetus. Basically, after getting a kill and reloading, it's going to improve your damage drastically. Basically like a kill clip. Once you've done this, just dump the entire Merciless mag and reload it, then switch back to your rocket and dump the last 2 rockets. Repeat this process until you're out of ammunition or the boss DPS phase is over. Here is this uncut footage of this damage rotation. Again, feel free to slow it down if you need. Now let's jump over into the Apex Predator and the Ikelos Sniper. Now this rotation is used for a boss that is far away and a sniper is needed. Usually you would just use the Izanagi's Burden, but this rotation is used for some reason if you can't use the Izanagi's Burden. Either way, the Ikelos Sniper is still a really good sniper to deal damage to bosses with, and it is also solar, so you're benefiting from 2x solar surge mods. So to start the phase off just like normal, shoot your primary weapon until it deals damage. Switch to the sniper, shoot the boss, and damage it. From here, switch to your rocket and dump 2x rockets. Put the rocket away and switch back to your sniper and dump the entire magazine on the critical headshot spot. You want to make sure you're reloading the sniper before you put it away and switch back to the rocket and dump your 2 rockets. From here, you would basically restart the process now. So you would switch back to your primary, sniper, and then rockets. Just repeat the process until you run out of ammo. Here is the uncut footage of this rotation. Now I've thrown in a little bonus DPS rotation here for anyone in a raid team that is the support character and you are designated to using the tractor cannon. Now a lot of people think that because they're using the tractor cannon they can't do a lot of damage, but that is incredibly wrong. The best way you can still do a decent amount of sustained damage to a boss with the tractor cannon equipped is by using a decent fusion rifle. There is plenty of decent fusion rifles in the game that are both craftable and that you can get right now. In this video, for an example, I'm going to be using the scatter signal, which is from this current season, with the role of overflow and controlled burst. This damage rotation is super simple. Obviously, debuff the boss with tractor cannon and make sure you've procced overflow on your fusion rifle before you go into a boss phase. From here, just dump the entire fusion rifle mag until the tractor cannon debuff wears off. From here, you want to switch to the tractor cannon, reapply the debuff, and then switch back to your fusion and just keep unloading. It's a very simple DPS rotation. You can see it in the background right now. I'm not going to show the uncut footage. It is very simple. Now, another way to push this DPS rotation even further is to throw in an auto-loading holster grenade launcher into the rotation. For me, I'm going to be using the Will to Flight because I have an auto-loading holster roll with it, and it's in a different slot to my scatter signal. The only hard thing about this damage rotation is actually getting ammo for both your special weapons. Before the boss fight, if you do end up switching to a grenade launcher, it's going to put that special weapon at 0 ammo. So you want to make sure you have a special ammo brick on the ground to pick up right before you deal damage to the boss. Anyway, jumping over into the rotation here, it is very simple. Debuff the boss with tractor cannon, switch to your auto-loading holster grenade launcher, shoot it, then switch to your fusion rifle and dump the magazine until you hear that auto-loading holster tick and reload. As soon as you hear it reload, switch back to the GL and shoot the boss, then back to your fusion rifle and keep shooting until the tractor cannon debuff wears off. From here, just repeat the process. Here is the uncut footage of this one. But anyway, Guardians, that will wrap the video up there. There are some amazing and the best Apex Predator rotations in the entire game, with the added bonus of some tractor cannon rotations. So from now on in Pantheon and leading up into the final shape, I would definitely recommend you test out all of these damage rotations and try and get used to them as much as you possibly can. But anyway, Guardians, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to drop a like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.